Hello, I'm Coach Nikki Warren, and today we are diving into detoxing our mind. So this is such an important subject, and like I said, we talk about this often, but this is, if anything, this is the most important thing that you will ever work on is detoxing your mind. So first I want to tell you some of the books that I've read that I'm quoting here, maybe books that you might want to read. So one is The Joy of Movement from Kelly McGonigal. She's amazing. The other is As a Man Thinketh. Give me a heart or a thumbs up if you've already read these or if you've heard of them. So The Joy of Movement, As a Man Thinketh, Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. And then I'm sure a ton of other books too, because I feel like, and probably my sisters also, like my sisters are on here and we're always sharing ideas, sharing little quotes that we've heard. So anything that comes out of my mouth is usually not mine. It's usually somebody that I've read, somebody that's cared enough to talk to me about it. And then I just take it, put it into my mind and put it into my routine, and then hopefully bring it to you. So the first thing, and the three things that we're going to talk about today, is replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts. When we're detoxing our mind, how movement, and this is where you're going to get really, like, this is one of my favorite books, is The Joy of Movement, is how movement gets you out of your head, and then how meditation helps you with your mind clutter. So all of us have a cluttered mind, and all of us work, hopefully, to understand that we are not our thoughts, that we are the spirit and the heart behind our mind and our body, and that we are the leader of this ecosystem that we call ourselves. And our mind is a powerful system that it's like a computer, it's like Google. So you can put in and you can say, how can I create happiness? And then your mind will be like, let me think about that. And then it will start getting to you some of the ways to create joy and happiness in your life. But if we let our mind run wild, it starts short-circuiting and becomes this like spoiled 2-year-old that is out of control. And all of a sudden we think we are our minds, we are our thoughts, and we can find ourselves like spiraling down in this world. So before we even start, let's take a second and take a few breaths together. Roll your shoulders down and back. As you breathe in, I want you to breathe in and like clear, almost like when I am meditating, I pull the oxygen in and I can visualize it like floss, like going through all the crevices of my brain, and just tell your brain like, hey, take a break, girl or boy, take a break. This is your time to relax. So everybody just tell your mind, this is your time to relax, and I want you to breathe into your heart. So as we take our attention down to our heart, calming our body, calming our nervous system, and then just finding a sense of peace. Because the first thing when we talk about detoxing our mind, so for those of you who do Kaya with us, Kaya is like our vehicle is exercise, but our mission is to help everybody, women, men, families, community in the world, find a happy mind, find healthy lives, find strength in their body, and real connection with one another. So as we, as a collective, and whether you're in Kaya or not, if you're sitting with me, here you are, you're in Kaya. There's no separation. There's no one or the other. We sit together and we think about, as we're coming into, if you are in Kaya, we're going into detox week, is we're detoxing our mind. One of the most important things that we can do. Because when we detox our mind, then we realize the power that we have in our heart and in our soul and in our being to create this strong body, powerful mind, to create amazing relationships, and to create a world that you want to live in, that you want to be part of. So the first thing, as we dive into creating positive thoughts and taking the negative thoughts out, are the book As a Man Thinketh. So this is an old book, and it's super quick. It's actually more like an essay than it is a real book, but it's filled with like amazing content to help us understand that what we think is what we are. And so the first thing in the book, or what really stood out to me, is dream seeds. So I want you to just write that down in your journal if you're driving or whatever, maybe just pull over or jot it down, but dream seeds. And dreams are a promise of what we shall become. And teaching ourselves to dream big and to really understand like what we put our energy towards. What do you want in life? Like, what would really make you feel like at the end when you say goodbye to this beautiful world, that you were like, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of my life, I'm proud of what I put into this world. And sometimes we forget that we're worthy of dreams, and that sometimes like life gets negative and we think our mind is us, and it's not. That if we take a second and we breathe into our heart and ask your heart right now, what are your dream seeds? What do you want to plant this winter? What are we going to plant this fall that we want to see sprout in the spring and next summer? Because every time like a little chicken was just part of an egg, or a little seed was now huge and beautiful trees. But we want to consciously decide, because we're planting seeds no matter what. If you're stuck on the news and you're letting all of the outside input plant seeds in your soul, those seeds sprout to be positive or negative. And the more that we can plant the seeds that we want to see, the better our lives will become. So in the book, and of course this is going to resonate with me in As the Man Thinketh, is exercise your mind. So we talk about all the time, our bodies are malleable. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you, with consistency, show up to move your body in a positive way, you will become strong. Your body is malleable, and you will become, from wherever you are, you will become the strongest version of you if you just show up and move your body. It helps to have a coach. It helps to have these like helpers in life, but it's the same with your mind. We have to exercise our mind. So the weakest of the mind, of like when you see people who are mentally ill or very depressed, or just over and over dwelling on the bad things in life, that weak mind can become a strong mind with the right thinking. Now, it's not easy. So another quote, and I'm not sure actually if this came from As a Man Thinketh, but work diligently, work patiently, and work persistently. So please write that down. Work diligently, work patiently, and work persistently on your mind and what matters to you, on your dreams. Don't give up ever, ever, ever. And then continually tell yourself, okay, we're supposed to work hard. That is, we're going to work hard on our mind. We're going to work hard on our body. We're going to work hard on our families and our relationships, but be persistent. Continually say, okay, I'm going to have patience, I'm going to be diligent, and I'm going to work towards what matters to me. But if you don't know what matters to you, it's really hard to work diligently, right? So it always starts with a dream. What's your dream? And then your mind is just like your body. With consistency comes change. So be patient, work diligently and consistently. And then what you plant in your heart will grow, and you'll see it. You'll see it in your career. You'll see it in your relationships. You'll see it when you look outside the window. What do you see in life? So as we think about like the negative and positive thoughts, it's not just about, and I talk about this every week, it's not just about not letting the negative come in. I'm very protective on what comes in my head. I don't watch news, which is hard these days. I will research if I need to know for like our owners. If I need to, and which I do. I know exactly where I want to research to know what's going on with the current state, so I can bring not fake news but real news to the people who need it. But other than that, I do not listen to like all the clutter that's going on in the world. And I'm very protective with the friends that I allow in my life, with the conversations that I have, and with the books that I read. But that being said, so we can be really careful about what comes in, but you also have to be really careful about what's going on in there. So it's not just about what's coming in, but it's how and what are you thinking about on a day-to-day basis. And that's why I think journaling is so important, is because when you're journaling, you're at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, just having a journal by your bed. And at the beginning of the day, what do you want? Like, what do you want to think about? If you wake up every day and go, oh, I'm so tired, and like, oh gosh, this world is so hard right now. Of course your day is going to be hard, and of course your world's going to be hard. But if you can wake up and journal one thing that you're excited about for the day, or that you're looking forward to, or that you're going to put out to the universe, and then at the end of the day, and I was trying to find the quote, I think it was like Helen Keller or something. I was trying to like find the quote before I connected with you guys, but that if we just journal at the end of the day, every day, look at what we can create. So if you look at like, okay, what did I do well today and what can I do better? That's it. 5 minutes. What did I do well? What can I do better? And then every day we just wake up and say, what do I want to put into this world? What is it that I want to give to this world? Just those two bookends of the day can change your world. And if you change your world, all the people that you're affecting in the world, like we think it's just about like, sometimes we think that we're small and that our actions don't affect as many people as they really do. But our actions are like a burst of like energy, like almost like the shirt, like a burst of energy that is like seen around the world. And so by you committing to sit with me today, and just by journaling down a few things about how to get your mind right, how to detox the negative and add the positive, how to move your body more in a positive way, that these little like crystals or these little like energy bursts that are going around the world are changing people. And we need you. I need you. We need each other to be a positive force in this world. So when you're thinking about the positive to the negative, thinking about how we can create more positive thoughts, it's remembering that you are the boss, you're the leader of your life, and you have to. And if you've had any like extensive conversations with me, you know my mind is Nicole. If you've ever named your mind, just type it in. So my mind is Nicole. So when Nicole gets crazy, which she often does, I'm like, hey Nicole, like, what are you doing? Can we think positive? What is, I constantly, before something comes out of my mouth, I say, is it kind or is it helpful? So when I'm circling, I want you to think about like your mind sometimes as a maze, and like write it down if you've got your journal. So write this maze. And sometimes we've got this like little rat that's like going over and over in these negative thoughts. So maybe you have a fight with somebody, or maybe your significant other, or maybe your kiddos are driving you crazy, or the people that you work with. And then you're just going over and over, and it's like this maze, and you're like, And then I want you to stop. So everybody freeze, take a breath, ask your mind, hey, mine's Nicole. Hey, Nicole, how can I get out of this maze? How can I see the love in this situation? How can I see more empathy from the person that I'm circling the drain with? And then how can I get my mind right as quick as possible to find either a kind or helpful way to get out of the maze? How can you find a kind or helpful way to get out of your negative thoughts and to get in a positive push towards, and maybe it's like, maybe you're circling around like politics, or maybe you're circling around COVID, or like circling around relationships, all of these things. Like, life is hard, right? Like, we know that. We can't expect, like, we're like, oh, if I was not in this relationship would be much better. If I was not in this environment, it's not true. We're totally kidding ourselves. So we have to sit right where we are, and then find the way to work our way out of the rat maze and into a world that creates, if you want it, if that's your dream, it's my dream. I don't want to push my dreams on you. But if your dream is to create more love and empathy and compassion and service in the world, we've got to take our mind out of the rat maze and take it into what is helpful. And how can we create more positivity starting here? Because that, all your thoughts manifest into reality. Every single thing that we do creates a reaction and creates what we are. Okay, so negative to positive, get your mind right, name her, him, and say, hey, snap yourself out of it as quick as possible. I always talk about the book Solve for Happy. And my son Kai was reading in front of me, and he comes in and he's like, shut the duck up. And I was like, what? And because that sounds like something not good. And he goes, oh, Mom, you haven't got to that point yet. Mo in the book calls his mind the brain. And he says, when his brain starts quacking, shut the duck up. And then it makes him kind of laugh, and he can pull himself back into like a positive frame of mind. So whatever that is to you, for me, I'm like, hey, Nicole, where we want to go with this? And I, as my spirit, ask my brain, pulling into, is this helpful? Is this kind? What do I need to do to pull myself back into the right thing? Okay, so joy of movement. This is so exciting. So if you can, everybody stand up with me real quick. Move your body just a little bit. Shake it out, shake it out. Our bodies are meant to move. This book is like, and I've read a lot of books on movement. I read a lot of articles and all that kind of stuff, obviously, because I have a fitness franchise, and I think that movement is the joy of life. But Kelly McGonigal, I always get her last name wrong, is an amazing scientist. And all of the work that she's put into this book talks about how exercise, so exercise is not just like a release of endorphins. Like, our brain, our mind, our bodies are meant to move. And so there's incredible power with moving your body. And what happens is and I want to make sure that I'm quoting her correctly, but the physical and psychological effects of moving your body influences so many things in your brain. So your brain chemicals, it takes the inflammation out. It helps us reduce inflammation in the brain, reduce anxiety, reduce depression, and it helps us connect to ourselves more fully. So when we're moving our body, our muscles, and she calls them hope molecules. So your muscles release these hope molecules, and these hope molecules are what helps our whole entire body connect to this world more effectively. Helps us connect to other people, helps us connect to the hard things in life. Our bodies are meant to move. So the more we are inactive, the more we feel anxiety, stress, depression. The more we move, the better we bond with other people. And that's why, like for us, like for Kaya, again, like exercise is our vehicle, but we want you to come in and connect with the people that are in the room with you. We don't want you to work out in front of a, we have Zoom classes just because we need them right now. And I think that it's important some days to be able to do that. But we want you to connect with real people. We want you to connect with yourself and release these hope molecules in your muscle and in your body that actually like physically protects you against depression and helps you detox your mind. So just think about like when you exercise in the morning, whether you do Kaya or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be Kaya. It can be absolutely anything, which is the beautiful thing about exercise and movement. But after that, why do we feel good? So, and I think that that's like after my classes, I always make everybody just take a second and be really proud of what they've done. Because if we can sit for a second and look at like, this makes me feel good. I breathe. I create more oxygen in my lungs. I create more happy thoughts in my head. This is well worth the time that you are investing because everything else in your life is easier when you move and when you exercise. Okay, I want to make sure, I only have like 3 more minutes and I still need to get to meditation. Okay, so joy of movement. Now, the last, and I wanted to actually like read this quote, the last book I wanted to talk about is Stillness is the Key, and that's from Ryan Holiday. He's got amazing books. Any book he writes, I always read. So the first, our whole talk is on detoxing our mind. We talked about replacing negative thoughts with positive, moving our body to get out of your head. And then third is meditation to help your mind with clutter. So this, and I'm just going to read it because it was said beautifully. But in the book, Stillness is the Key is, and even before I go into the quote, is through every religion, through every ancient reading, through every great philosopher, it's over and over and over, is we need to work on inner peace and quieting our mind. And so many of these like ancient writings in the Bible and all of these things talk about calming our mind to be steady in our person, in our human. And today more than ever, like, and I'm talking to myself, like all the input from our phone and our email and our text messages and Facebook and Instagram and family and all the obligations that we have, our mind is like short circuiting and we're like, gut. Like no wonder we're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and crazy because we have too much in our head. And where meditation, focus, prayer, whatever that is to you, is taking a time to take a break. Everybody with me, take a big breath. So to be steady while in the world spins around. So the key to inner peace is to be steady while the world spins around you. The world will never stop. The technology will never cease. But our goal is to be steady no matter what the world is bringing to us. To hear only what needs to be heard. So again, is it kind? Is it helpful? Don't hear all the clutter and the negativity. Tune in, hear what only needs to be heard. Blow everything else off. To process and to possess quietude in the inner soul. All greatness teaches peace, and peace of the mind and peace of the soul. Stillness is always at the highest good. So from high-level athletes and to people wanting a happy life is teaching yourself to be still. It's not comfortable to go and sit with nothing. Like no phone, no electronics, but sit, and I'll come back to work diligently, patiently, and persistently to quiet your mind, to take away all of the notifications as much as possible, to create as many positive thoughts in your mind as you can, and gently ask Nicole or whoever your mind is named to take the negative out, to find joy in movement, moving your body, connecting with other people, and then meditating in wherever, again, whatever that is to you, to clear your clutter. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. Just a quick recap on how to replace your negative thoughts is thinking about every single day, starting with journaling. So for me, it's just journal what you want for the day, and at the end of the day, did you do your best? What can you do a little bit better the next day to love yourself up and create more quiet time? Find a routine, because our bodies really like that. Find a routine of being on and off. If you're always on, then you're just exhausted. Like you never are like able to turn off, and then you're never fully on. Like what are your dreams? What is the most important thing to you? If we say our most important thing is our family, but then we never have that energy to really be on with them because we're always on for everything else, then we're just burning the candle at both ends. So as much as you can, create a routine that supports a calm and beautiful life, and then just study what it is that helps you create more positive, kick out the negative, move as much as you can, fall in love with exercise, and then just find time to meditate. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I wish you a beautiful day. You can always join Kaya at any level. You can join it virtually, in studio, you can become an owner, you can become a coach, you can become a Kaya girl, you can meet me here on Fridays, anything, whatever it is. I would just be honored to be your coach, be honored to stand next to you through this beautiful journey in our lives. I know our owners and coaches, we train really hard to help everybody as much as we can be in service of really just creating a better you, a better me, and a better world. Love you, Bobby. Love you guys. Thank you, Joanna, for being on. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Erin. Thanks for being an owner out there. You're a fighter. Love you. See you soon. Bye, Anna. Thanks for all that you do as a coach. Mwah. Bye, guys.